Hey everyone, welcome back to Staff Chat from our homes to your home. Because this thing's still going on. So I'm Adam. I'm the visual arts director at Cross Church. Eric, if you want to go.
I'm Eric. I'm the network worship pastor at Cross Church.
Cameron.
I'm Cameron Lewis. I am the youth pastor at the Carnival campus.
And John.
I am John Truex, and I am the mobilization pastor as well as the Staunton campus pastor.
So tonight we're going to do something similar to what we've been doing. It might change. I don't know. We'll see. But I think all of us can say this week has been crazy because I've had a lot going on. I know Eric's had a ton. John's been in Collinsville and here doing house stuff.
Oh yeah.
So, and then Cameron's been,
Oh
yeah, but also dealing with a almost 3-year-old and
yeah.
I heard Cameron is knocking it out of the park as a stay-at-home dad / still doing everything for the church. So just to brag on him for a minute, he's killing it. So good job, Cameron. Way to be an awesome father.
Well, thank you for that.
I don't know who told you that, but
Well, I think there's really only one person who could have mentioned anything. But
all right,
brag on him for a second. Gosh.
So I'll go first with my article. I literally looked on the page I normally look on, and I saw the first one, and I was like, okay, I got to talk about this. So a European Space Agency has said that human urine could help make concrete on the moon.
I saw that.
Yeah. So basically they said that could one day become a useful ingredient to make concrete on the moon. Basically, the main organic compound in urine would make the mixture for a lunar concrete more malleable before it hardens into its sturdy final form. Which I just, I mean, to be fair, if you're on the moon, that's going to be a high supply.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Right. So
it's, good, but also,
yeah, I'm thinking like, okay, you're on the moon and you have a limited water supply. Are you going to use your limited water supply to make concrete? Or are you going to use your limited water supply to make urine, which can make concrete?
Yeah, which also keeps you alive.
Yeah. But then I wonder, it makes it more malleable. So like they're making this concrete with their urine and then like using their hands to like form it into what they want to form it into. Like,
well, what I'm sad about,
here?
I was hoping that they would say how much like it would actually produce, but I don't think they have that data yet. Obviously, because they're not using urine on the moon to make moon concrete. But yeah, I just when you see an article like that, you got to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, my initial thought based off the headline is like, oh, like obviously they're going to use urine because they have urine. And they're not going to waste water. But then somebody thought, well, let's study this and find out if we can use urine. And then I also think, why?
Yeah.
And in what conditions are they studying that? Are they in the Arizona desert urinating in a concrete mix bag and trying to getting in a vacuum and figuring I don't know.
It's crazy.
The guy's down there for a minute. Oh, doesn't work.
Yeah, really, who discovered this was a group of kids at Home Depot who really had to pee, and they were like, just pee on those bags over there, and it made concrete.
Sponsored by Quickcrete.
I feel like you can ask that question about everything though. Like, who discovered that this works?
Yeah,
and why?
And why? Yeah. Like, who discovered you could eat mushrooms? Like, why would you look at that and be like, I'm going to eat that?
I just think that they have some like lunar dust in like a lab somewhere, and they're like pouring all kinds of liquid on it. Like, oh, that one didn't work. And they're like, we haven't tried one thing. Let's pee on it.
That reminds me of like two things. One was like how Cameron was joking, where it's like the Jim Gaffigan thing. And the other one was like Landon's Ashworth. He did a video that was like a funny video that was supposed to be this guy testing out if they could totally filter urine back into purified water. And each test he kept taking a swig and like spitting it out, and he's like, no, that's pee. That's pee. I don't want to do it anymore.
It's classic.
I will say I had something to eat this week from a local restaurant that as soon as I put it in my mouth, I knew I did not want to eat that. And it's rare that I start to eat something and I have to spit it out. But this was one of those things that like I had to spit it out. And then the first thing I did, what any good husband would do, I called Gretchen over and I said, "You've got to try this. It is so bad." And she took a big old bite of it, and she spit it out as well. And I was like, okay, it's not just me.
Can we talk about this right here?
No.
Oh,
No.
oh, Alex.
I
See,
forgot to mention
her status or her photo there from Facebook could be somebody making moon concrete with her.
Yeah.
That somebody might be Eric. So that may not even be a bucket of water that was poured in your head.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You heard it here first.
Geez.
I forgot to say the Jim Gaffigan thing though, but he was like along the lines of the mushrooms. It's like who first decided like, hey, look at that psychotic looking dog over there, which is a goat. He's like, let's try and milk it. Let's make it. Who came up with that one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, then you get into to meet the parents. What is the list of animals that you can milk and drink their milk?
Yeah.
All right, who's up next?
That's classic.
I really want to go. I can't see who's watching. Is Tim Rodas watching right now?
I don't think he is.
I don't know.
Okay, I hope that he doesn't watch. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to try. Screen sharing. Yep. Don't show me this again. I'm sorry, everybody. I just want to do an application window of this. So on social media, I saw this week.
Oh no.
Which I thought was hilarious. Gretchen and I laughed at this for quite a while, secretly replacing family photos at parents' house with pictures of Tiger King and Joe Exotic. So I propose that anytime we're at the church, we sneak into Tim's office and replace one photo with a Tiger King photo and see how long it takes before we're caught.
I guarantee it'd be
Okay, Annie, I'm glad Tim is molting. Don't tell him.
I mean,
Delete this after.
yeah, I was like, you can watch this on demand, John. Come on.
Okay, but so I saw that. I thought, man, that is brilliant. And it's not really an article, but it's going to be a fun joke. So every time you're there, please bring a photo. And anybody else, Annie, can help with
I'm
this
in.
as well.
Yep.
And we got to see. You got to take a photo of it in there too, and we'll see how long it goes. And don't be too obvious. Like we have to spread it out like over the wall. It can't all be next to each other.
What if we do this? What if we don't switch it out with a Joe Exotic, but we actually just print out little heads and put them over all the photos?
That would work too. We'd have to get the sizing right, but
Yeah.
Alex is on.
Yeah.
This is going to be awesome.
I think a better area to do this, and one he wouldn't notice for a long time, is if you start putting him on his back window of his truck. I don't think he looks out that thing. I got a camera back there. What do I need?
I think based on the amount of beer he did, he doesn't look out of the front window very often either.
We need to.
He does look out the side windows though.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Let's put a
no
little
Joe
Joe
Exotic.
Exotic on his his rear view camera, and then so when he goes to back up.
So no joke. My backup camera in my van stopped working.
Oh,
And,
no.
so I'm doing the good thing. I'm on the internet and researching, trying to figure out why. And they said, okay, they give like all these reasons. The number 3 reason for your backup camera to stop working is some hoodlum in your neighborhood has put black tape over it. And I'm like, that is completely like that could have happened.
That could,
and I went out and checked. Like, is there black tape over my backup camera? There's not. But so I guess a good conversation we could have is what's some of the best practical jokes that you have seen or done?
Ooh.
So you got to tie that back in, though, John. You should have said, and coincidentally, number 2 on that list was moon concrete.
Yeah.
Yes, my backup camera doesn't work because somebody peed on it.
Yeah. When we
We're
were
getting Adam started on practical jokes. Gabby said you've got some good ones.
Oh,
There's
gosh.
there's just too many.
Yeah. You'd be here all night.
when I was in
I mean,
7th grade, I think it was 7th grade, maybe it was 8th grade. I might have been I don't remember. It doesn't matter. We saran wrapped the worship pastor at the time, John, his Mustang from top to bottom around, and then post-noted the whole thing. We're at a D now, and we snuck out and did that. That was a good time. So like he was like waking up to go to the worship session the next morning. Man, I can't say my S's. And when he like got there, like he couldn't get into his car because we like had 2 rolls on it.
that's funny.
He was late to it. It was so awesome.
See, my old youth ministry assistant, she did that to my car once. She had like 1 roll of saran wrap and like went out and saran wrapped my car like from front to back, right? So it takes me like a minute with a pair of scissors. I cut it off, it's done. But that like sparked a whole prank war. So later that night or the next night, we were having a Settlers of Catan guys night. So we had a bunch of guys up together. And when that was over, it's like 1 or 2 in the morning, we decided to go over to her house. And we got like industrial rolls of saran wrap, like you use in like a warehouse.
Yeah.
And for like 40 minutes, saran wrapped her car in every direction. And the next morning she woke up, she had like parked her van off on like the side of the building, like backed it into the corner so that we wouldn't find it because she knew that we were going to do something. The next morning she came out, she was leaving for a doctor's appointment, and she said it took her like an hour and a half to get all the saran wrap off of her car so that she could go to the doctor. It was wonderful. Good times. Yep. So Adam can't answer. What about you, Eric? Any good ones?
I think, I'm thinking about back to my college days. I remember we pennied somebody into their room, which is always a classic.
That's a classic.
So, it was all the way around the door, and they couldn't get out. I think they had to order. I was gone by then, but they wouldn't let them out unless they order him a pizza. So that once the pizza arrived, then they let them out.
I like that. I like pizza.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I used to do a lot of bad pranks in high school. So like camp pranks, classic like saran wrap on the toilet, shaving cream on the toilet seat, pull the little sprayer out of the toilet and put it up to where it sprays the people whenever they flush. You know, I've gotten Alex quite a few good times. Yeah. With
our
pictures in her
scares
office.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, scares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done that a lot.
Oh no.
All right, so that was my article. So whoever else.
Oh,
So, but Gabby has a little insight to Cameron here in his pranks. Yeah. Take a look at that.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for like the first month I attended Cross Church, everyone thought my name was Frank. It was
Okay, hold on. They thought your name was Frank, or you told them your name was Frank?
Well, both.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Both for sure. I was in Miss Kathy's class, and she asked me my name. I told her Frank, and then like youth students would come in and out, and so I told them I was Frank, and literally everyone thought my name was Frank for a month. And then I told them my name was Cameron. It just shadowed them.
Mhm.
But then I continued to be Frank for the rest of my youth group career.
So that happened to me, except like the opposite, like the embarrassing way. So I'm a youth pastor, in youth Sunday school or whatever, and a mom brings in her kids and introduces them to me, and I swear this girl tells me her name is Jenna, and so for like a month, every time I see her, I call her Jenna. You make a point to use their name, right? Make them feel welcome. So you're using it in conversation, just generally when you wouldn't use their name. So I'm calling this girl Jenna for a long time. And finally, after a youth event one night, she was like, Mr. John, you know my name's not Jenna, right? And I was like, what? She was like, my name's Geneva. And I was like, your name's not Jenna? And she was like, no. I'm like, why haven't you corrected me for the last month? And she's like, well, I thought you knew that my name was not Jenna. And from that day forward, we called her not Jenna. For the whole 3 years she was in Japan with us, we called her not Jenna.
That's hilarious.
And still, she's just finished her freshman year in college. She came to visit us when she was going to look at colleges, and still we call her not Jenna. Her mom, when I talked to her mom about her mom addresses her as not Jenna.
Not Jenna.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, Cameron, you want to go with yours since
Yeah.
it kind of goes into his question?
Yes, I got mine. So I don't know if you saw this, but a police officer in Utah was driving on the interstate, saw a vehicle that he assumed was drunk driving in and out of the lanes. So puts on his lights, pulls over the car. When he gets to the front window, he finds a 5-year-old boy driving. Well, the 5-year-old boy was being babysat by his sister. Parents were at work. Earlier, I guess the day before, he was asking for a Lamborghini, and the parents told him that he couldn't have a Lamborghini. So that morning, when his sister fell asleep on the couch, he decided that with the $3 in his pocket that he'd been saving up, he's going to steal mom's vehicle and
That's all it takes.
drive over state line to California to buy a Lamborghini.
Ambitious.
Yeah. And there's a video, and it's scary. I mean, it's funny, but it's scary. Like, he was legit on the interstate. Like,
Yeah, that's the craziest part about that.
crazy. Yeah. It just shows him sitting in like the front seat, $3 in pocket.
Well, and then I believe now, I think Lamborghini actually came and picked him up and gave him a ride.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive, like
That's
one of the
awesome.
dealerships or something. Yeah, which
Yeah,
is cool, but
let's
also
reward that behavior.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, you didn't get what you want? Just go steal your mom's car and you can get it.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
you can get a ride in a Lamborghini and just steal your mom's car. Yeah,
I thought that was so crazy that a 5-year-old was driving on the interstate.
I want to know, like, there's so many questions, like, how did he reach the brake and the pedal?
Man,
Like, how did he not crash before the interstate? Like,
how do
I
you able to get
I can't
pulled
convince
over?
my 15-year-old son who has a driving permit to drive on the interstate. Like, I can't convince him to do it. Like, and this 5-year-old's just like, I got this. No big deal.
I don't know.
This would be awesome if we found out, like, say 15, 18 years from now, this dude is like a NASCAR driver and he's just dominating the sport.
Yeah, it's like the Ricky Bobby.
He's Ricky Bobby for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I want to go
Yeah.
fast.
And he drives a Lamborghini in NASCAR.
Oh man.
That's so
That's awesome.
Mm.
I tried to steal my parents' car once when I was young, and it didn't work. My sister came out and saw me trying to do it. Was like screaming at me. She's only a year older than me. She couldn't even drive either. She was like screaming at me, and I was like, "No, I wasn't trying to drive this car.
I was just looking out of the back seat. Well, why are you in the front?
Why is it running?"
Yeah.
Fun time.
No.
All right, Eric. I think that's you.
Is it me now? Okay. Mine comes with a disclaimer, okay? I I take no pleasure in anybody anytime dying. But it's stories like this where it's just like 100, 1000%. This could have been avoided. So, in South Carolina, not Florida,
Not Florida.
Close enough. I've been close enough.
a woman who was apparently had gone over to a house call because she does nails. She works in a nail salon. So she went over to this house, and afterwards, she had noticed that there was an alligator down in the pond and was fascinated by the alligator. Fascinated. So one of the ladies, I think the lady that she just done her nails, stated that she was cleaning up the porch, and she noticed the lady that does the nails down by the water. And she yelled out to her that the alligator had grabbed a deer the other day from that spot. The reply was, "I don't look like a deer." And then she moved to touch the alligator. This is the full report. So shortly after, obviously, we can put two and two together. What happened?
Carol
She was
Baskin.
Tea party.
pulled into the water, and that was the end right there. Because it took, the deputies and firefighters arrived, and the waters were like calm, and then the alligator was still clamped onto her leg when they got her out of there.
Ooh.
So, I mean, that I have no words for this. I'm like, how does one? Okay, PSA: any animal that is out in the wild should be considered dangerous. If there is a cat and it does not have a home, is not domesticated, and you try to get all cute with it, it will claw your face off. Let alone an alligator that has really powerful jaws. I just don't understand. This is
It eats people.
yes. I mean, it does. I don't look like a deer does not work. That is not a compelling argument for the alligator.
It's a foolproof statement right there.
So
Well, I walk on two legs, not four.
I
I've
can't.
watched
alligator's
them
eyes.
before.
You are meat.
I mean, yeah. It's if that alligator is grabbing deer, and just the other day, that thing's obviously hungry and wanting
Oh my
as
god.
much food as it could possibly get. So don't go near. But the thing that just floored me in the report is what then moved to touch the alligator. I understand if you're like, 20, 25 feet away and trying to get a picture, even that's kind of
Yeah, those
but-
suckers are fast.
right. But even trying going up to touch something like this, no.
Yeah.
Should never have happened in a million years. So what ties into my question is, and it's not going to be as drastic as this, but what is something that you have done in your life that you're like, man, that was really stupid, and I was really lucky not to get really badly hurt when I did
Aaron?
that. And go ahead, if you got any stories in the live chat, please, we would love to hear them as well.
Oh man.
So that we don't all feel that dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we go there, I watched a video. I'm pretty sure it was today. Two golfers were on a course and they saw like the head by the bank of the water, and he had like I don't even know what it was. It was like a snack or something. And he was like, he says it to the alligator. He's like, I'm gonna put this on your nose. Be nice. And like puts it, like goes to put it down there, and like the alligator like chomps at it, like pulls his hand out in time. But it was like, what are you thinking? Like, the caption was pretty funny. It was oh shoot, what's the guy's name from Happy Gilmore that loses his hand?
Chubbs.
Chubbs. It was like Chubbs.
Yeah,
Chubbs is in heaven looking down, shaking his head at you, like kind of deal. But I was like, that's just no way. No way I'm toying with anything like that.
Can I share one about Wesley? Wesley just said that he caught a rattlesnake when he lived in Arizona. So I'm going to share one about him, and then I can share one about myself. So a few years ago, we were taking some youth group boys camping, just, whatever campground. We were down in Shawnee National Forest, down near Vienna, Illinois. We decided we're going to go hiking, and we wanted to find this waterfall. So we find the trail, we go hiking, we're hiking and hiking and hiking, and find this little spot where, it's just a little body of water and then some cliffs. Well, Wesley can't swim, which he has told us repeatedly before the trip, on the hike, while looking for the waterfall and standing at the banks of the water, tells us, I can't swim. Well, everyone's climbing up on this cliff and jumping off the cliff and into the water. We're all having fun, and it's not far from the shore. So Wesley, for some reason, decides he's going to jump in. He wants to jump off of this cliff, and there may have been some peer pressure involved because it was a youth trip. So we just go ahead and jump in. We'll have several people who can swim in the water, and then if you really can't swim, we'll pull you out of the water. So Wesley climbs up on the cliff and jumps in. And so he jumps in, hits the water, comes back up, and everyone who's around him, in case he can't swim, sees that he came back up. And so they kind of back up to let him kind of like doggy paddle to shore or whatever. And it was at that point Wesley remembered he couldn't swim. And then just starts flailing around, and he's thinking, everyone who's in the water, they're all teenage boys. They don't know what to do. They're flipping out. And there's a guy. I'm on shore. Like I'm already done. I've had my fun, and there's a guy next to me on shore. He's standing there, just random guy who happened to be there, standing there smoking a cigarette, like watching this whole thing, like sees it happen, like drops his cigarette and like runs into the water and grabs Wesley and pulls him out. Turns out the guy was a lifeguard and just happened to be out hiking. But Wesley should not have done that. And so to learn how to swim, he joined the United States Marine Corps, and now he is training to be an infantryman and probably still can't swim. So that's Wesley. If you can't swim, don't swim. So I've got one really simple one. It probably would not have killed me, but it did cause some damage to me, and one that could have killed me. In the movie Home Alone, Kevin McAllister wants to get to his brother's like secret stash of stuff all the way on the top shelf, and decides he's going to climb up the shelves. And then the shelves break, and he like falls down all the shelves, and the tarantula gets out. We're at our house, and I needed something out of like the storage room that we had, and both sides of the room are lined with shelves. I needed something off of the top shelf. And rather than going and getting a ladder, I think, well, I could put 1 foot like on each side and like climb the shelves as if they're ladders. And I got up to where I could reach what I needed, and that shelf broke, and it fell and hit the next shelf, and it broke. And so, they all break, and I come tumbling down, and Gretchen's rolling her eyes because she thought this was very dumb of me. I hit the ground, and I'm laughing at myself. And on the back of my leg, from the back of my knee to the bottom of my butt, my leg is just like ripped open by a screw that had been holding in one of the shelves. My leg just, and I'm laughing. I'm like, I think it's like, that was dumb. I shouldn't have done that. I'm okay. And Gretchen is like trying to clean up the wound and like get it all taken care of. I'm just laying on the couch on my stomach because she's working on the back and I'm laughing at myself because it was done. So, use a ladder, not shelves, if you need things.
And the thing you were reaching for was a knife set.
And then,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's me breaking up or Cameron, but I can't hear him. So it might be me.
I don't know. I don't know.
And then I feel like I've been talking a long time, so somebody else can share.
For me, I guess there's a lot of dumb stuff I've done, really. But if I boil it down to, I think I can go two things. One, I would say, I think it was dumb. I don't know if I would have died, but for whatever reason, one of my friends lived on Lake Catatoga, so she had a dock like right there by the lake. And I don't know how we got to it. I don't know really how it happened, but we got to a point where we were taking like Axe spray and like hairspray and covering my body with it and then lighting me on fire. And then I would run across the dock and like jump and dive into the water to like put it out. We were being safe, right? We were right next to the lake. It was okay.
We were being safe.
You know, we got creative and we're like doing letters and like, you know, all that cool stuff. But the other one that one was dumb. I don't know if I would have necessarily died. This other one though, I was actually scared for my life. I got in a car we were in a neon, like it was like a 2002 neon. I don't even know who produces neons. Is that Honda? Scion? Dodge? Okay, whatever.
Hyundai.
So it was a Dodge neon, and it was we packed it out. 5 people in the vehicle. There were 2 girls in the front driving, and then 3 guys in the back. I was sitting in the middle, right? So like, and we didn't know what we were doing. They're like, "You want to go to the hills?" And they're like, "Sure, we'll go to the hills. Like, it'll be fun." And yeah, don't try this at home. And they're like, "We'll just, we can kind of ramp them. It's kind of cool." We're like, okay, sure. So we get there. It's like 10 minutes. It's over by Gillespie. My friend, her name's Abby. She like pulls in, backs up, and she's like, "All right, you guys ready?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." Like, we had no clue what was gonna happen. She just floors it, like just absolutely just like presses down on the gas. Like, we have no clue what's going on. I think we hit like 85, 90 miles per hour. And what the hills were is like, it was just a really hilly road, but they were steep enough that if you hit it fast enough, like you would fly, like you would be airborne. And by the time like the 3 of us in the back were sitting there, never done it before, no seatbelts on, like we had no clue what we were in for. But by the time like she got to the hill, because we were going so fast, we're like, oh my gosh. Like I just see all the movies where like they ramp something and it hits slow-mo and they like see everything flying by. I'm telling you right now, that is so real. Like, that is the realest thing ever. I just remember not having my seatbelt on and like watching my life flash before me, like slow-mo, like I'm floating in the air, like I'm dying today, like it's over. And when she landed, her wheels, she didn't keep the steering wheel straight. So when she landed, her wheels were kind of turned. There's a telephone pole probably like 10 feet in front of us. And I don't know how she didn't hit it, but she like jolted and fishtailed and got it back, and we lived. And it was insane. It was crazy. It was a scary moment.
I like how you had to tell people like generally where that was. Like, oh, it was over near this place. Like,
yeah,
like just give them ideas. Great idea.
Yeah. I feel like
the
we should
disclaimer was a
save
good
those
idea.
for last.
it was in Africa.
Yeah, that's
My gosh. Mine
I
aren't
think-
anywhere that adventurous, I don't think.
Yeah, I would say the one that was probably the worst. Well, number one wasn't me, but when I was in middle school, my group of friends really liked a show that a dude called Johnny Knoxville was on.
Ooh,
And so we did a lot of dumb things, and particularly my friend Brad would be the dummy, I guess, if you want to call it that. And so there was one time we flung him off. Me and my friend Mark were like the bigger guys of the group. And so we're doing like the swing, and then we'll pull him back and launch him again, and we keep doing that, and then he jumps off. And I don't know if he hit his back or whatever, but when he landed, he was still. Like we were like, I'm pretty sure we just killed our friend. And like it was long enough, like it could have been 30 seconds. I don't know what it was, but it was long enough to where all of us in like 6th or 7th grade were like, we just killed him. He's dead. What do we do? Like, and then he was fine. But that was the scariest moment. And then I don't remember when this was, but I lived in a neighborhood that was very hilly. And so there were a lot of like streets where there'd be a house on this side, and it'd have a driveway that went steep, and then there'd be a house on this side that would also go steep. And so there's one time where I went from the top of one to the bottom of the other, with a back brake that didn't work very well. So I ended up flipping my bike because I was like, I'm not gonna go that fast, it'll be fine. I ended up flipping my bike and landing on my face. So that wasn't fun. But yeah, none of my stories are really that crazy.
Man, mine, there's kind of two. One involves a bike, and the other one involves a piece of construction equipment, scaffolding. So the scaffolding one happened later in life, obviously, but we had noticed, we were like, oh man, we set this up upside down. So it was like a big, unit of scaffolding. So they went to go get whatever they went to get, like the feet or the platforms or whatever. And I was like, oh, I'll just tip this thing over while they're gone. So when I did that, I'd lift it up, got the whole thing. I was going to tip it over. And then it went so fast right there. And my hands were still kind of hung on. So it shot me up, my feet tucked under, and that thing came down on top of me. So that was the one time that I've been to like the hospital in an ambulance, because it had kind of pinned my leg, and I'd have to show you the scar sometime, but like on one of my legs, like right next to my shin, shows you how close that was. Like it had these little bitty like edges on it where you can see the divot like right next to my shin, and if that would have been an inch over, that would have snapped my shin definitely like right in half, which would have been absolutely horrible. It was painful enough, but so that was one. An earlier one was probably when I was a little bit older than Weston, so I'm going to say like either 12 or 13. And in Gillespie, there's these two ball diamonds called it's Welfare Park. And in the middle used to be a giant mound of dirt that all the kids from all over Gillespie, we used to ride our bikes, our, Dino Nitros and all that other fun stuff. We used to take that and we used to ramp it. So this guy right here decides, well, I'm going to get a little bit further back of a start on this. So there was this little cemetery that's over by that across the road. And it's not a straight shot, which probably saved me, but I like took off from way back there. So we're talking about a distance of maybe a football field, if not a little bit more, that I'm making a beeline towards this thing. Yeah, this is great. So I take off, I'm going, and I can pedal pretty hard and go pretty fast. So I hit that thing, and my gosh, Cameron's right with the slow motion deal. Like, I was up there and I could just feel the bike leaving the stratosphere. And so I'd lost control, and I had enough time where I was just like, I threw the bike away because it was if I landed on it, I'd probably break something even more like on me. And so the bike landed over there, and then I landed and did this like weird, like little tuck and roll thing, I guess is what it felt like. And little did I know that one of the kids I went to high school or to school with, he was riding up at the time, and he just like, I was biking over here. Are you okay? I thought you were dead. Because the way it looked, I guess. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I was like, and I'm like, yeah, just give me a minute. I remember how it felt, like how the chest felt. It It was just like somebody had just beat the living snot out of me from every direction. And I was just laying there like, okay, yeah, that was really, really dumb.
We got a few here. Alex said, "My stupid moment. I really wanted to swim out into the ocean to where I couldn't touch to see what it was like. Well, who knew the waves would be so strong that I kept getting pulled further and further out to sea." Then she said, my water polo playing brothers came to my rescue, but I was pretty sure I was going to be a mermaid and live in the sea forever.
I don't think that's good, but
It's like reverse Little Mermaid.
Yeah. And then Gretchen said, "All I know is I'm eternally thankful that cameras were not built into phones when I was a teenager." And then
True.
Eric,
Second
to
that.
respond to you, Beth said that was the best ramp ever.
Yeah.
It really was. It really was. If you weren't an idiot like me and tried to do it from that far back. If you just went from the gravel driveway, it was fine. It was great. It was the best.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Okay. So I've got 3 different things. But so basically I'm going to give you a choice of 3 trilogies. All right.
Ooh.
And I want you to pick 1 to watch as many times as you want, 1 to remember the movie but never able to watch again, and then 1 that it is like literally just removed from history.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
So, first pick, this one's going to suck. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, the original trilogy, and Back to the Future.
Oh no! Why?
Oh, no.
I had to put those 3 together for Eric.
All right, everybody else go.
I would choose to watch Back to the Future and remember Star Wars, and you can get rid of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, for me, I
Yeah,
would
go.
say watch Star Wars as many times as I want because I can't get rid of that. And I'd probably have to say I could remember Lord of the Rings, and I'd have to get rid of Back to the Future, but it's so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah.
This was the hardest one, and I was like, I want to put these 3 together to see Eric just die.
I think I'd go and get rid of Back to the Future, and I'm gonna watch Lord of the Rings and remember Star Wars.
Oh, really?
I think that's what I'll do.
I think Eric quit.
Yeah.
No, I answered already. Didn't you guys remember? I already answered.
His ears are stuck.
Can't compute.
Yeah, I've got to go. Like Cameron, you went Lord of the Rings, then remember Star Wars, and forget Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be it for me. Yep.
I'm the oddball.
Man.
Yeah.
I love Back to the Future.
Oh, I do too.
Oh, I do.
You have no idea. You
Yeah.
have no idea that this is like, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
This is within a 0.00001 percentile
Okay.
of
so,
margin.
okay, so here's the second one. Toy Story, we're ignoring the 4th one because it wasn't great. Indiana Jones, we're ignoring Kingdom of the Crystal Skull because it sucked. And then the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Oh. I'm getting rid of Toby. I'm watching
Really?
Indiana Jones, and I will remember Toy Story. Hands down.
The other thing that Gabby and I were talking about 3, that's also like, so think about Toy Story. Toy Story was one of the forefront Pixar like animation, and so if it did not exist, what would change?
Yeah.
But that's also taking it to like a crazy philosophical level.
They'd have been all right.
So I've never actually seen Indiana Jones. Yeah. And I don't really care for Spider-Man. So, so like,
He's
you
gonna
leave
freak
me
out.
with Toy Story. I get Toy Story. Thanks, guys.
I would say for me, I would say that I'm gonna remember Spider-Man, because okay, all of them are good except the third one because he becomes an emo kid and it's super weird. But I would say I can watch Indiana Jones as many times as I want and get rid of Toy Story. I love Toy Story, but like I can't
Yeah,
get rid of the other ones.
yeah.
I second that actually, Adam. Yep.
Okay, so this one, I don't know if this one will be hard for others, but so it's the Dark Knight trilogy,
Oof.
which is Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises, the Matrix trilogy,
Oh,
and the Godfather, which might not be hard for some of you, but it's for me.
The Matrix, and what was the other one?
Dark Knight and Godfather.
I'm forgetting Godfather. Is that one's? Yeah, it's not for me.
That's what I figured a lot of people would do.
I'll go with remember Matrix and then watch the Dark Knight ones.
yeah.
Because that includes which ones? The Rises.
Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
One of the best villain performances of all time.
Oh yeah. Yep. All right.
Which is
that's
Christian Bale.
I'll do-
Batman is top notch though too.
I'll do the exact opposite of Eric. I'll forget the Dark Knight series, and I will watch. Right, we had Matrix. Yeah, I'll watch the Matrix and remember the Godfather.
Yeah, I'm forgetting Godfather, and I'm keeping Dark Knight and remembering the Matrix.
Yeah, I don't. This one's so hard for me because I love the Godfather and I think it's an amazing set of films. One of the only films that I would say the sequel is just as good as the first one. But Dark Knight also has one of the best villain performances of all time, and I love Keanu Reeves, so it's like I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'll watch The Matrix and remember Dark Knight and probably get rid of The Godfather, even though it is one of my favorite films. It's like it's just so hard to pick those. All right, that's the end of mine. Cameron, on to your segment.
Is it me
Close us off.
or is John? Wait, John, did you do yours?
I haven't done mine yet.
Oh, okay.
But we can count my story as mine. But
No,
I was
you
just going
can
to talk
go
about
first.
what it means to be a neighbor. So
Oh, okay.
that's not. I think it's fun and exciting. So we'll let Cameron go last because he has an interactive segment as well, right?
Yeah.
So this week, actually over the last few weeks, it's been really cool to experience just the way people are caring for people and being on the receiving end of that at times. But there in Carlinville, we've bought that house that we've been working on, and just meeting the neighbors and getting to know them. The other day, I was out talking with one of the neighbors and said something about wanting to cut down a lot of the overgrowth and the brush and stuff in between the properties. And this gentleman was like, hey, if you want, I'll come and help. Not even just when you're doing it, just, when I've got time, I'll come and cut it all back. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Sometimes people just tell you like, oh, I'll help. And they never really intend to help. They just want to say that, right? Well, the next time I come up to the house, he had come at some point and cleared like an entire, huge section of this overgrowth and brush, and he cleared it and he piled it and had it all ready. And we got up and we burned it, which I thought was really cool. And I went and talked to him and I thanked him for it. And then the next time I came up, he had cleared like another entire section. I thought I was going crazy. I got there and there's like this big pile of brush again. And I thought, oh man, I thought I burnt all that brush. And then I walk out in the backyard and he had cleared this whole section of overgrowth. And I thought, man, this is really cool. That this is somebody who apart from a couple of weeks ago, I had never met this guy. I don't know him. I don't know anything about him, his family, his story, other than just talking with him across the property lines. And we've kind of talked about this before, but this idea of what does it mean to be a neighbor? We're called to love our neighbor as ourselves. And right now, in the current situation that we're in, our traditional means of outreach and evangelism and things like that, we can't really do a lot of that. So what does it look like in the current setting? How do we continue to be a good neighbor? How do we continue to share the love of Christ with the people that we encounter? And what does that look like for you? What stories have you heard? How have you experienced this in the last 7 or 8 weeks, or however long? It feels like it's been forever. But how have you guys seen it? Or anybody else in the live chat who's watching, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had a better relationship with my neighbors, because I love hearing stories like that. Like I know Josh Hedger, he did our camps. He had stories like that of evangelizing, having conversations with their neighbors, and we've done that, but not what I would like for it to be. Because I think that verse is also I think it's literal, the people that are around you, your neighbors, but I also think it's more widespread than that, your circle groups, where you are, and your job, your family, your friends, all those things. So I don't have a neighbor kind of story like that, but I think one thing that we've been doing is just, and I've maybe talked about this a little more, is just walking more. And so we went on a walk, it was 2 or 3 days ago, and we passed a little old lady's house, and AJ was out there with us, and she was by herself. You just knew she was lonely, and so we just kind of sat in their front yard and let AJ have conversations with her, and AJ actually was when we walked up there, she was like, "Hi, Grandma," and we were just "Oh, shh." But she the lady just absolutely loved it. She was like, "Did she call me Grandma? Oh, that's the sweetest thing." And so we just, just we're able to spend some time with her from a distance, and just hopefully bring a smile to her face. And so, when we're out, when we're walking, we try our best to engage the people that are around us, and have those conversations, say hello, and just be friendly and be loving. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is just having a smile and checking in on people and making sure they're feeling, loved and not alone.
I've lived in the house we're in for 4 years now, and I only really know one neighbor. He's right to the left of us, and so he's one of those neighbors that you love to have, but also sometimes gets annoying, because he'll if you're gone, he watches your house like a hawk. He's that kind of neighbor. But also he watches your house like a hawk. So if there's a car that's parked a weird way or whatever, he's the kind of person that's going to come over, knock on your door, and be like, "Hey, can you move your car?" But as far as during this, as it's gotten warmer, we've been taking a lot of walks, and our walks have been turning into 2-hour walks, because we'll stop at someone's house and talk for 15 minutes or whatever. We always try to stop at someone's house, church people or whatever, or we Dorothy Helvey, she goes to our second service. She doesn't have internet, and so I've been running a DVD out to her at Lake Catatoga, and so we'll sit out there and talk for 30 minutes or whatever, just because they're lonely, or things like that. Just trying to be conscious of people which I'm sure there's a lot more that I don't think about or whatever, that could use the company, which is, but that's kind of part of being a church community, because there's people that I don't think of, but hopefully there are people that they would think of that person, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where I'm in a neighborhood, I would say, of waivers. We always, I mean, that's the big thing. We're waving the people to the just north of me, Bob and Audrey. I know Bob's definitely in his 90s, and Audrey might be now too. They always kind of walk the sidewalk and everything, and my kids love them. They're always like at the windows, and they're like, hey, it's Bob and Audrey. So they go out there and wave at them. She actually went to school, to college with my grandma. My dad's like Grandma Cooper. So yeah. So there's a bit of a tie in there. When we first moved in here, I noticed Bob, this was, gosh, I can't even remember how long we've been here, but Bob at the time was still out push mowing his lawn. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I go, I like to mow. So, one day I told him, I go, well, I'll go over and just mow on my riding mower and everything. Their yard's not that big. But apparently he has a friend that he wanted to enlist the help. He had a business, and it was like a lawn cutting business, and he would come over. He's like, well, I was going to pay this guy to come over and, and all that. So it was a friend of his. So Bob's a pretty cool stand-up guy like that. If he says something to somebody, even though, you're doing a nice gesture of mowing the lawn, he's like, yeah, but I told my buddy that I was going to give him money to cut my lawn. So, but yeah, we haven't really been taking many walks. I mean, my kids will we go outside and stuff like that, and we'll see a lot of our neighbors. The one immediately to my south, he switches jobs back and forth between here and Alton. So he's down at his Alton home a lot more than he is up here. And he's kind of doing the, what the Truaxes are doing right now. He's redoing that. He's got to have redone that entire house, like on the inside. It has to be completely different, because it looks like every single time that I see him, he's working on something over there. But yeah, just different stuff. Where we used to live when we first had Weston, when I first started at Cross Church, we lived over in Carlinville, where there's the, what is that one? The Moose that's out by
Walmart.
the John. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
So out that way, and our neighbor there was another really cool old guy. His name was Jack, and the last name is escaping me right now, and that's driving me nuts. But we used to always come home, and we would find fresh produce like tomatoes and stuff, like on the door, or by the door, and we would sort of exchange stories when we were outside, and we both didn't like this hedge line that was there, so we both worked on that and got that out of there, and just various stuff like that. So our family's been really blessed with really good neighbors, and I hope to them, we're also being good neighbors and helping everybody out when we can with what we can. I just had two cool guys come over and help me the other day fix my fence. I know that. There's one
Is
tin
it
rotor
still standing?
Actually, yes, it's
Good.
Let me check. Yep, it's still there. It's still out.
We had a couple people. Kathy said we had a sweet family drop homemade jam and bread to encourage.
Mm-hmm.
Gabby kind of reiterated what I've said. We've just dropped little gifts off. My current neighbors are very loud and get my whole company in trouble. Our neighbors started fostering about 8 months before we did. They have been a huge support system for us. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's super awesome.
My mom made masks, and I delivered them to some friends and neighbors. Yeah.
We also today went around. They're not necessarily our neighbors, but
He's back.
with like Teacher Appreciation Week, we went around and took flowers and a card and everything to the kids, like different teachers, you know.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Jamie's had some people do some sign orders, and then
Mhm.
we've been delivering them to some teachers, like anonymously, and just
Yeah.
they have like handwritten letters and just tell them how much they've impacted and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, not just like our neighbors too. Like, just I've seen, like people donating food to like the Macoupin County Health Department and the hospital and things like that.
Yeah.
Those kind of things are
Oh,
being a great community neighbor, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
all right, let's go for the last interactive topic.
Oh boy.
all right. Welcome to Who Wants to Be on Cameron's cool segment that was inspired by Adam's cool segment. I'm sorry, Eric's cool segment. Dang, I messed the name up. It's in process. It's in a process.
It happens all the time,
Yeah.
ironically.
Yeah, we're working on the name. So I've got 6 questions of trivia. They're multiple choice, A, B, C, and D. For you guys, I'll give you what we'll call half and half, so we don't just completely rip off Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I can whittle that down to two multiple choice, right? Or we can go with you have the other option, call your homie. So you can either do half and half or call your homie. You get one of those. Only one. Okay, only one. When you
There are
use,
so many rules.
there's so many rules.
This is going to be like a youth group game. As soon as you're done asking rules, we're going to have hypothetical situations and we have to ask, what if this happens?
We'll just move past that. So the topic, we do have a topic. The topic is food and drink. Really just food, because I don't think I have any drink on here. Yeah, just food. Yeah, the topic's food. All right. So we have 6 questions. It'll go like the first 2 are pretty easy. The second 2 they're a little harder, and then the last 2 they're pretty difficult. All right. So if you're sitting at home, make sure you either type A, B, C, or D. I'll read all of them, and we'll kind of see who does the best. All right. Question number 1. What is sushi traditionally wrapped in? A, white rice. B, tofu. C, seaweed. Or D, rice paper. We'll start with let's start with Adam, go Eric, and then John. And if you need me to read that off again, just let me know.
I feel like this is a trick question.
It's tricky.
Well, I don't really know what it's traditionally wrapped in, I guess, but I would assume it's C.
So you went with C, seaweed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Eric?
Ditto.
So D, rice paper. Got it.
No.
It's-
Seaweed.
And John?
Seaweed.
Seaweed. Seaweed is the correct answer. Very good job, guys. Very good job. Do we have
I thought
any
you were going to
see.
try to trick us, though. Is this like
Yeah,
Who
I
Wants to
know.
Be a Millionaire and it's going to get progressively harder?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay, that was definitely the $100 question. Got it.
Yeah. We're starting off pretty easy.
What are we up to now? Are we up to like $5,000 or was it,
No, you're at like $200.
okay. Top prize, $399.
Number 2 is pretty easy as well.
Okay.
I can buy a Lamborghini with that kind of money.
Checks in the mail.
Maybe they're all easy. I don't really know. We'll just
Okay. We'll see.
All right. So, question number 2: the global food phenomenon, pizza, was originally from which country? A, America. B, Denmark. C, Greece. Or D, Italy.
I just love the way he says it. Like,
We need
Is this real life?
Denmark.
we need like whiteboards so we can like hold
Right.
it.
And music too.
D,
D,
Italy.
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 for sure.
Well, the answer was
Hold on, see if other people answer in the chat before you.
I was drawing it out.
Okay, thank you.
Suspense
Sorry.
there.
This is like a reality TV show.
Yeah.
After the break.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
A commercial break with Adam.
Speaking of pizza, that's what we had tonight.
Oh,
Pepperoni.
your
And
sticky notes.
there was also a taco pizza.
I can't see those. Oh, I can barely see those. The answer was D. The answer was D. Good job. So you guys are 2 for 2.
I was going to say, don't make me call Reno again, man.
You guys are through.
Did you see Tyler commented was like, I didn't hear the question, but I'm saying D. Is that because everyone else was, Tyler?
Yeah, it's that mob mentality, crowdsourcing.
There you go.
All right, this one
Okay.
may be easy for maybe 2 of you. We'll see. All right, number 3. During the post-credit scene of the hit movie The Avengers,
Oh.
what food are the superheroes enjoying together? A, pizza. B, shawarma. C, taco truck tacos. Or D, sushi.
I feel like John should answer first.
No, don't make me do that. I'm going to do like Tyler, and I'm just going to say what everybody else says. I think taco truck tacos. I have no idea though. So
All right,
it's just a completely random guess.
Do you want to
No
do
idea.
half and half, or do you want to phone a friend?
I don't know what I want to do.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
I want to let the other guys answer first. And
No,
see what they.
no. You think about it. Half and half, or call your homie.
I would. Let's do a half and half.
All right. Your half and half.
Oh, of course, tacos is still on there, isn't it?
Your half and half is taco truck tacos or shawarma.
I feel like you're laughing at me for saying taco truck tacos, and it's still there. So I almost have to go with shawarma. And shawarma is delicious. So
Shawarma.
why would they be eating shawarmas? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know. Is that your answer? Is that your final answer?
Yeah, final answer, shawarma.
B, shawarma. Okay, Adam.
Correct.
B, shawarma.
Correct. He doesn't even say, yeah, I agree. That is correct.
Yep.
Yes.
Shawarma.
B, shawarma. Well,
Unforgettable.
yeah. You guys did it. Good job.
Well,
Wow, that was.
Ty got it wrong then.
The answer is B, shawarma. All right, moving on to number 4.
Alex doesn't know what shawarma is.
Is
Probably-
it like cheese curds?
it's a Middle
It's kind of like
Eastern
isn't it like a
dish.
poutine almost?
Probably because
Shawarma?
it's
No.
fun to say is why they use that, John, by the way.
No,
Because it was
It's a
ridiculous.
shawarma.
Yeah.
shawarma is like a gyro.
Yeah.
That's shawarma.
It's lamb.
Is it the same?
It's similar. It's not exactly the same.
Okay.
The cut of meat is a little different, but
Okay.
it's delicious.
Yeah, Gretchen, sure.
Yeah, there we go. Gretchen's going to make us some shawarma as soon as we
All
can
of us.
get together in groups of more than 10.
We can
She's
eat
probably
the,
talking to Kathy, but that's all right.
I'm with that.
Oh,
All right.
see, I don't see
Takes
who's
two.
talking to who.
Number 4.
All right.
Remember, these are kind of easy, right? We're like maybe 300. No, 400. Okay. Which pastry is boiled before baked? Which pastry is boiled before baked? A, donut. B, bagel, C, croissants, or D, puff pastry?
And don't act like you knew this before you married Jamie, by the way. Don't
Gretchen's
act.
in the kitchen shouting the answer to me.
Do not Google it, Adam. I can see your
I'm gonna
eyeballs
go with
going to
bagel.
your second screen, you little cheater.
I'm not. I have things up on there. What were the answers again? Because there were too many ones that I was like,
Yeah, I'll give it
Yeah.
to you again. Here we go.
read them again.
A, donut.
Okay, I heard
B,
donut.
bagel. C, croissant. Or D, puff pastry.
Boiled before it's baked.
Before, yeah.
Okay,
Boiled
well, that's
before
not-
it's baked.
That's not a donut because donuts are boiled.
And and Jamie did get this wrong when I tested it on her.
Really?
Oh,
Okay,
really?
yeah.
That's funny.
You did.
I feel like
You have
For
Call Your
me-
Homie and Half and Half. Don't forget about
I
that.
feel like it's got to be a bagel because of how hard they are.
Okay. So you went B?
Yeah, B.
That's what I was
You didn't
going
make
with.
him use a lifeline.
What?
I'm saying B as well.
Yep.
Yeah, the answer is B. Maybe I
You
should-
seem so disappointed.
Well,
He thought he had us.
no, I feel like bagel's the obvious answer there, but like, what other?
I don't know. I would have
pastries
said
am I
puff
putting in?
pastry. I probably would have said puff pastry.
I don't
If
even know what
Gretchen
a puff
wasn't in the
pastry
kitchen
is.
shouting at me.
Oh, okay.
So
No, that's just like the sort of, gosh, what do I use that in? There's a topping.
Gretchen
It's
just
like
used it the other day.
kind of like putting biscuits on top of something like a if you make like a homemade pot pie, you would
Yeah.
use like a roll out the puff pastry on top.
Mm.
All right. Now these are hard. Okay, here we go. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they're easy. I'm not confident anymore.
No, you built it up. They're supposed to be hard.
Here we go. Number 5. Kiwi fruit is indigenous to what country?
Oh.
A, China. B, South Africa. C, Guatemala. Or D, Australia. Don't forget, you got Call Your Homie or
I'm going Guatemala.
See, I say
I know.
Australia.
Give me the half and half.
Oh wait, what was it?
Kiwi,
Kiwi.
Kiwi fruit.
Oh,
Australia, right? They're Kiwis.
That's what
Well,
I would assume. But
But you're going to use the half and half. Let
Yeah.
them run that out.
I'm gonna wait to get some answers in here before we go half and half.
okay.
You
Just-
used my half and half before I got to hear from anybody. You're picking on me now.
That's yeah.
True. That's true.
But we also knew Adam and Eric for sure knew the answer.
Yeah, well, that's accurate.
Yeah, and that's literally the only reason I put that in there, just because I was like, really, the topic should have been food. But
yeah.
was
I guess I'll change mine to Australia.
food. Okay, Australia, and you said Australia as well, John.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what I was hearing at the beginning, but I don't know.
Kiwi fruit is indigenous
Half and half.
to what world country?
You don't trust us with Australia? Come on, peer
No.
pressure, Adam. We're
All
correct.
right. Here we go. You're half and
I'm
half.
gonna use my lifelines. I've got one more left.
Call your homie.
Can I call you? You know the answers.
That's ingenious. The question is, are we homies?
Ooh, that's hurtful. Dang. Will you answer the phone if I
Well-
call?
That's yeah. We'll get there if you guys use that. So I'll give you your half and half. Half and half is A, China, or D, Australia.
Of course you would.
Of course.
Yeah.
I feel like Australia might be too obvious.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break the
They're
chain.
called Kiwis.
I know, but I'm gonna go with China. I'm gonna break it.
The correct answer is China.
What?
Woo!
Lies.
They're indigenous to
Indigenous.
China.
Okay, we'll look up what that means, and then we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, why are Australians called Kiwis?
I think they're Kiwis are actually New Zealanders, aren't they?
That's what I thought.
I'm not sure.
That's what, because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that New Zealand might be, yes. So New Zealanders are called Kiwis, and so that's what I was thinking. Was I was like, New Zealand's going to be on the list, but it wasn't. But Australia and New Zealand are very similar.
They are.
But I don't know. Okay.
Got it wrong. So what, I'm eliminated. I can go now.
Yeah.
No. All right. What's next?
All right, last one. Our last one. Last question on Welcome to Who Wants to Be Cameron on Cameron's cool segment that was inspired by Eric's cool segment. Number 6. Which of the following is actually a herb? Okay, or an herb.
Herb.
Yeah.
Herb.
No, we're
Herb. Herb is a boy's name.
Okay?
Guy named Herb.
Herb. Okay.
Herb.
A, banana. B, carrot. C, tomato. Or D, walnut.
What? None of those are herbs. What are you talking about? All right, Eric, you've got to use the lifeline on this one because Adam and I have already used one. And use your 50-50, and if we still don't know, then I'll phone a friend.
We can.
All right, we'll do the 50-50.
Oh, we're doing 50-50?
Half and half or whatever.
Half and half, not 50-50.
Oh,
Half
sorry.
and half.
I feel like walnut maybe, but
We're getting some
carrot.
yeah.
Let's
I'm gonna lock in my answer with carrot.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Man, he doesn't even want to participate in our
No.
schemes to use more than one lifeline.
maybe next
Unless
time
carrot
we
gets
just make it
eliminated.
call it homie.
Well, no, you just need to make it to where there's only 2 lifelines and we have to use them together.
That would
Oh,
be fun.
collectively.
I'm going to enforce
Yeah.
that right now. Great. Good job.
Okay.
So the
So we
only
gotta call your
lifeline
homie.
you use
I think
is
I might have
homie.
to.
What
Okay.
homie are we calling?
So you're 50-50, or we're calling a homie? Is that
it
what
can
we're
be
doing?
any of your homies.
Collective homies?
Yeah, collective homies.
Somebody call
Yeah.
Brady Fish.
Go.
I feel like this is a dumb fact that he would
That-
probably
Does Google count as a homie?
No, Google's not a homie.
What about Alexa?
No, Alexa's not a homie either. She's an acquaintance.
Alexa knows my birthday.
Acquaintances sometimes know birthdays as well.
She also knows what type of cake I like. Therefore, we're friends based on the office standards.
An herb. What defines an herb to be?
Yeah.
Walnuts.
Um,
I don't care. I'm
so
going carrot.
the plant has to be, I don't know how this really defines.
Okay, so it can't be a walnut, right?
Or the tree, whatever you want to say. It's a herbaceous perennial is the technical term.
Okay.
Herbaceous,
Oh, that's
What was
perfectly
the first choice?
clear
which
now. I
doesn't
got it.
clear anything up,
Right.
but yes.
Okay, so it can't be a walnut. What
From
was
China.
A? What's A?
We have banana, carrot, tomato, and walnut.
I'm gonna go with tomato.
Do any of you have a homie? Maybe a. Oh, and also if you use call a homie, you get 1 call. That's it. If they don't answer, you're out of luck.
I don't think I have a homie that would know this answer.
I have somebody that I would probably call.
Throw Jessica Coop's thing up there real quick, Adam. Yeah.
Hey, Eric, call
I'm with
Mitch.
Jessica. Call Mitch?
say, yeah.
That's who I might have thought of.
He didn't know how to cook. No.
He might know it's a herb.
I'm
Is
still
a
going
carrot
with tomato.
herbaceous?
Perennial.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
What was he calling?
He's
Phone
calling his
friend.
homie.
Calling Mitch.
Okay, here we go. Man,
On speakerphone.
I knew how to work my phone. Gosh, man.
Is it ringing?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear it.
Oh, it's because I got my.
Oh, headphones in?
Yeah.
This is suspenseful.
It is.
Hey, so we're doing a talk show here with Cameron, and the question that we get to call a homie on is which is an herb? A banana, a carrot, a tomato, or a walnut?
Tomato.
A banana, a carrot, a tomato, or a walnut?
A herbaceous perennial.
A herbaceous perennial is what he's defining an herb as. He understood that. So
Oh, okay.
Tomato. It's tomato.
here, wait a minute. Let me put you on the speaker here.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
All right, you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a tomato, and if I'm wrong, I apologize, Dr. Bray.
See, I told you, tomato.
The answer is a banana.
What?
Oh no.
I'm
A
sorry.
banana.
That's all right, bud.
A
Mitch, you lost
banana-
us
Thank you.
$5.
We
A
lost it
banana
all.
is a herbaceous perennial, and it is a distant relative to actually ginger.
What?
Ginger
Yeah.
and bananas.
Yep. So it's technically a fruit, but it's also technically not a fruit.
Man, how am I gonna buy my Lamborghini now?
Right? Yeah.
You only need $3. We made it
I
to
know.
$3.
No, he took it all away.
That's true.
Oh, we lost it.
Oh,
Yeah.
So the plant is considered an herb,
right.
But not the fruit.
not just the banana. Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
The stem does not contain true woody tissue,
Crazy stuff.
apparently.
Interesting.
All right.
Horrible.
Well,
Man.
good job, guys. You got
Why would I have known that, Alex?
pretty much 5
That's
out of 6.
That's such a dumb fact.
I'm not putting that herb on anything.
I know random things, but not
Put that in your guacamole.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
banana guac.
Banana
Yeah.
smoothies are now healthy.
It's the same
Yeah.
texture as avocado, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you
I don't know. Let's do
Because
it.
it's
Let's try
related
it.
to ginger.
Oh, she said because it's related to ginger.
I knew that was coming.
Oh,
I knew that was
that's
coming.
awesome.
no.
Good one, Alex.
All right, Eric, your challenge before next one is to make banana guacamole, and then we all can try it on screen.
Yes. Banana guac. Or Gretchen. Gretchen, can you make banana guac for us by next Saturday?
Ooh.
Mm,
Here we go.
I don't know. I still want.
We'll see what she says.
I don't know. I'd rather have shawarma.
Well, I don't know that we can have shawarma by next week because we all got to
Oh.
get together. You got to eat that fresh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well, the first.
Gretchen said maybe the banana guac.
Well, here it is. Here it is now. The first episode that we have a podcast in person. We're gonna eat shawarma on screen.
Yes.
Okay, deal.
There you go.
So
deal.
it could
I'm
be
saying
5
deal
months.
for Gretchen.
That'd be so awesome.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. I find it fascinating how much I love the staff chats. We try.
Yeah. Just don't tell your husband about anything you heard today.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. This has been long again. Maybe we need to figure out how to shorten these. I don't know. But
It happens.
all right. Well, this is our conversation. So we hope you guys can join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on YouTube and Facebook for our streaming service. And we are, I think, the fourth message of Live Intentionally. So we hope you can join that. Gabby said, "Can I be crew that day?" Apparently,
Yeah,
she
we'll
wants to try
invite
shawarma. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you all in the next one. See you
Stay
guys later.
safe. Don't go near alligators.